Hello everybody, and today's video is all about why we choose different vocabulary. So don't use said, use another word instead, a synonym, but make sure you understand why and how to choose your words carefully. So when using an alternative word to said, make sure you know which words to use to suggest volume, tone, emotion, or intent. And that's what your examiner is looking for. Have you used that word to demonstrate how loud something is said? Have you used that word to suggest the tone in the way that somebody said it? Have you used that word to focus on the emotion of the person, how the person felt when they spoke? Or have you used that word intentionally to highlight when the person said it? Are you ready? We'll have a look at those words instead of said and decide on how we would use them. To begin with, mentioned is intent. You've purposely chosen better word than the word said. Well done. Mumbled, that's about volume. You really want your examiner to know how somebody said something. And don't forget, don't mumble yourself when you're in a speaking exam. Shouted, that's about volume, being louder, but the most important idea is tone. Think about why the person is shouting and what's being suggested to your examiner. And you know not to shout in your speaking and listening exam, don't you? If you use the word warned, that's about intent, why somebody might be telling somebody else about something, why they're warning, the tone behind the warning. Is this going to be a tone that sounds as though the person is helping you out? Or is this going to be a tone that's suggesting aggression? Whispered, we use that for volume, so that you're suggesting is whispered for a reason. What's the tone in the way it's whispered? How is that person speaking to suggest the ideas you want your examiner to know? And don't whisper in the speaking and listening exam. Gasped. Yes, we use this for emotion. Perhaps you're trying to suggest excitement or surprise when you use this word, but your examiner is looking for your sentence. How you've used gasped in the sentence is going to show, did you do that intentionally to show emotion? Grunted. Well, that's about volume, but you might have another reason to write the word grunted, and your examiner is looking at what you've said to decide, why have you used that word instead of the word said? Joked. What's your intention? Is this something that you're using as an actual joke, or is it to suggest mocking somebody else? Intent. When you use cried, that's emotion, isn't it? Or sometimes we use the word cried to give across another idea. So you're still thinking about, why am I using that word? Denied. Yes, the intent. Why the person has said they didn't do it, but denied is a really brilliant word to use instead of said for that. Hinted. If you hint, there's an intention behind it. So you have to have an intention in using that word. Why would you use the word hint? It's trying to suggest something hidden there. Interrupted. Intent. You intend to interrupt. If you interrupt somebody when speaking, that's okay if you do it politely. It's because you want to add some information. So think about intent. What are you suggesting if you're writing about what a character might be doing, or why are you doing that yourself? Interrupted. Hissed. It's volume or intent. Insisted is intent. Ranted. That's a good one. Yes, what's the intent? Why are you ranting? Or why are you writing about a rant? And you'll very often see this word in Facebook, won't you? I'm just going to rant. So think about the reasons behind using that word if you're using it in your exam instead of said, because your examiner will know what all of these words mean and they're looking for why you've used those words. Quipped. That's intent. It could be tone. Why have you used yelled instead of said? To show volume, intention, or tone. What about conceded? Yes, that's also to show intent. Stated, intent. Confessed, intent, maybe tone, maybe you've thought of something else. Offered is intent. And joked, remember, what did we say? Yes, you're thinking about why you used it, what's the intent, and perhaps the tone you want to get across. Interjected, that's intentional. You've done it for a reason. What's that reason? What's your intent? That's what your examiner is looking for, as well as looking for that really excellent vocabulary there. Reported, intent. Revealed, intent. Confessed, maybe any of those three. So you have to choose, why are you using that word? Declared, that could be intent, or perhaps you've used that word to suggest tone. Replied, intent. And that's the end of this section. But remember, very, very important why you're using a particular word. So take care, and I'll see you for the next section of vocabulary. Bye now.